everyone. In this video, I've had an interview with one of my cousins from my mother's side. And I've had this interview about his job experiences. And so my initial plan was to interview my father because he's a perfect fit to this video. But on the day of the interview, he realized that it will be needed to be recorded. He was shy in front of the camera, and so I reached my cousin for help in this interview. My cousin is as well very shy in front of the camera, but thankfully he accepted my invite through chatting him via an online platform, and it is Messenger. So I've prepared 50 questions for him, and this is the first question. So, who are you and what do you do for a living? So, his answer was, I'm Edward Francis Libunao, and I'm a first year college of World City Colleges in Cubao, and at the same time working at a BPO industry. I've had this information about him, but I'll keep his identity more private because that's what he wants. But Edward started college too late because he was like in his 20s already, and there's a time that he stopped studying and just pursue other things. The next question is about how he get into his current job. So his answer was, it was end of first semester in 2021 that I get started to consider and working to any job. And the first thing that pops out of my mind is try applying on a call center industry. And luckily, I get accepted. But it took me a lot of tries before I got accepted. So it's not an easy thing for him to apply to a call center job because he lacks knowledge and understanding about this concept. The next question is your current job your childhood dream job? And his answer was, fortunately, yes, it is my childhood dream job. It started to become a dream when I was young, and I've gotten a lot of compliment that it's rare to see a 12-year-old able to have an interaction who's older and fluent to speak in English. And that gave me a will of considering a call center industry a dream job for myself. From what he said, I've already understand why call center is his dream job, and it is because he is very fluent in speaking in English, and it gave him the will to consider call center as his dream job. Next question. What is more important to you, the workplace environment or the financial compensation? His answer was, the workplace environment is much important for me, because if there is toxicity in such work environment, you won't be able to pursue on doing a better job. He's actually correct about what is more important, if the environment or the financial compensation, because it is much more better to work in a good environment because it will help your mental health and physical health to work better. Next question is, do you plan to stay in your current job until your retirement age? His answer was, of course not. I tend to work, but I also have my own desire on creating my own business. In that way, I won't have any worries regarding to my finances in the future, because we weren't supposedly working on someone's company till we reach our retirement age. With this statement, I think Edward wanted to have a job or a business that is founded by him so that he won't have any problem in his finances in the future. Next question. If you are not a call center agent, what do you think would you be? His answer was, I'd say I'm a tambay. Just kidding. Probably doing sidelines that would help me on earning money and start of thinking a business that would help me on reaching to the top. Because like I've mentioned earlier, we weren't supposedly to work on other jobs forever. We have to be a leader to ourselves where we get to inspire other people that if I can do it, they can do it as well. In this statement, I could say that my cousin is eager to have his own business so that he could be a leader and as well an influence to everyone that they can do everything if they are inspired to be one of these leaders. Next question. With all the jobs that you've had, what is your favorite one? His answer was, I don't really have other work in particular beside of working in a call center. So basically, I'd say that working in a call center is already a top notch for me. Next question. Considering your current and past jobs, what was your greatest struggle? Were you able to overcome it? How? His answer was, honestly speaking, I'm still facing difficulties on working because it may not attack your physical health, but it can also affect your mental health also. But if you have a strong will of surviving it for the day, you can call it quits. And another challenge in another day. As long as you love your job, you can move forward and just let the difficulties slip. It is true that working will always affect your mental and physical health, but these difficulties can be overcome through appropriate coping of these problems and just trust in yourself and always do better. Next question. What's the greatest life lesson that you've learned as a working individual? His answer was, I guess it would be that the only person can help you is your own self. At the end of the day, other people are just able to say anything what comes up to their mouth. But it is still up for you to decide. In other words, becoming independent. His statements were true because every time he went home and when I saw him with his best friends and our other cousins, they always talk about each other's day. But the day always ends up that they only have their own self, so they must always become independent. Next question. Are you able to explore your hobbies or other aspects of life even if you have a full-time job? His answer. Well, I'm only starting on discovering new hobbies in my life because it would be a great benefit for myself. Without doing the same hobbies or routine over and over again, which can lead on a self-exhaustion for not able to do such other recreational activities. I would like you to know that my cousin's work is very stressful. So he have this kind of recreational activities where he goes to time zone and play this kind of racing games because he loves cars and he has this kind of passion for racing. Next question. Is your current job causing you some stress? If it does, how do you cope? His answer was, of course, it would still cause me stress because every work includes stress and it is up for us on how are we able to cope it. The best way for me to cope up stress is to relax for a little while and remind myself that if I get on a break due to stress, it would only mess things up and which could stress me a lot more. So it is better to relax instead. And yes, it is true to still have this kind of relaxation after a long work so that it will not affect or harm your mental health. Next question. If your teenager self can see you right now, how would they react? His answer, I'd say that my teenager self would be in shock all of a sudden because I have my hopes high and having thoughts to myself that when I started stepping on adulthood, it would be a lot easier. But instead, it wasn't how it turned out to be. And you'll just get to start realizing new things. However, if my teenager self would be proud of reaching this far and how tough of what I am today. Next question. Are you in a better place right now compared to the you years ago? His answer was not really. Being a young person is great because you don't get to stress yourself too often about life. But that's okay for me because I can always remind myself that there will be a time that I'll get to experience of living in a comfortable lifestyle soon. And yes, still could not say that he's in a better lifestyle as of now because he is still working and I hope that when time gets comfortable with him, he will get everything that he deserves. So that's the 12 questions that were prepared by our teacher. And the last two questions were prepared by me. So this is the first question. Which do you think suits a person? Dream job a job that helps you become successful, or a job that your parents wants you to have? This was his answer. For me, I'd choose a job that is beneficial for my responsibilities and my needs, because at the end of the day, I'm the only one who gets to decide of what job I desire. This question is actually hard for me because there are times that when your parents wants a job that suits you, it's always it will not always fit your desired job, and it's very hard because it's you yourself that have to decide. But when you did not pick the job that your parents wants you to have, they'll get mad and sometimes cause you some trouble with your family. Last question. A lot of Filipino these days work even without finishing college. Would you recommend to finish college first before working? Why or why not? Here was his answer. There are a lot of Filipinos ended up working instead of finishing college because of financial support, and there are also who choose to work even though they are not facing any financial problems, but instead to learn how to be independent. For me, as a college student without any worries of finances, I chose to work and at the same time doing my academics because I want to learn how to stand on my own 2 feet. And yes, that is how my cousin is eager to be an independent person. So those are the things that my cousin wants to share with you guys, and I hope you learn something from it. And always remember that you have to be responsible and independent enough to work as an individual, and always do better in your job and to be in an environment which is better for your mental health. That is all. Goodbye.